How Dumbledore infuriated Umbridge. Where Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff common rooms are located. Why Kreacher obeys Harry. The mysterious shard. And why Trelawney is more important than she seems. Greetings, dear subscribers and casual listeners of my channel. We're returning to our favourite segment, where I share fascinating facts about the Harry Potter universe. Things that were clearly hinted at in the films, but never fully revealed. As a result, many logical questions from viewers went unanswered. My goal is to rectify this unfortunate oversight. Of course, those familiar with the books won't find anything new here, but sometimes revisiting familiar topics can be just as enjoyable. In any case, I hope you enjoy watching. Number 1. The Enslaved Elf. In Order of the Phoenix, the house elf Kreacher is introduced, and most viewers found him far less endearing than Dobby. Bitter, reclusive, and obsessed with blood purity, Kreacher despises his master Sirius and shows disdain for Hermione and Ron. Yet, oddly enough, he follows Harry's commands. Why? In Half-Blood Prince, it is revealed that Sirius left a will naming Harry as his heir. This inheritance includes Grimmauld Place, its contents, and Kreacher. But first, I must inform you that a week ago Sirius's will was discovered. He left everything to you. Though Kreacher longs to serve Bellatrix, he is magically bound to obey his new master, Harry, much as he begrudgingly served Sirius. Interestingly, in the books, Kreacher undergoes significant character development. He grows to respect Harry, keeps Grimmauld Place tidy, and even cooks for the trio. During the Battle of Hogwarts, Kreacher leads the Hogwarts house elves in a charge against the Death Eaters. Unfortunately, the films fail to give this transformation the attention it deserves. Number 2. The Badger's Den and the Raven's Nest. The rivalry between Gryffindor and Slytherin often overshadows the other houses, with many fans barely paying attention to them. This isn't helped by how little the films reveal about Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. For instance, Ravenclaw student Padma Patil is frequently seen in the Gryffindor common room alongside her sister Parvati, a Gryffindor. And yet, where is Padma's own common room? In the first film, we see the Gryffindor common room, and in Chamber of Secrets, we are briefly shown Slytherin's. But is that enough? In Deathly Hallows, unlike in the films, Harry does visit the Ravenclaw common room. Here's how it's described. Finally, they reached the door. It had no handle or keyhole, just a seamless expanse of aged wood with a bronze knocker shaped like an eagle. Unlike Gryffindor's password system, Ravenclaws must demonstrate their intellect by answering a riddle to gain entry. The eagle's beak opened, and instead of a bird's caw, a soft, melodic voice asked, "Which came first, the phoenix or the flame?" If a student cannot answer correctly, they must wait for someone else to solve the riddle for them. As Luna explains, "What happens if you answer wrong?" "Well, you have to wait for someone who knows the right answer," Luna said. "That's how you learn, you see." No wonder Padma spends so much time in the Gryffindor common room, sitting on a cold corridor floor waiting for entry isn't very appealing. The Ravenclaw common room is described in detail in Deathly Hallows. The Ravenclaw common room was a wide, airy, circular room. Tall, arched windows lined the walls, draped with silken curtains in shades of blue and bronze. The domed ceiling was painted with stars that mirrored the ultramarine floor below. The room contained tables, chairs, bookshelves, and a white marble statue in an alcove opposite the entrance. As for Hufflepuff's common room, J.K. Rowling originally planned for Harry to visit all 4 common rooms during his time at Hogwarts, but no convincing reason arose for him to visit Hufflepuff's. Thus, it was left out of the books. Only on Pottermore did Rowling reveal its secrets. When I first planned the series, I expected Harry to visit all 4 common rooms during his time at Hogwarts, but I eventually realized there would be no reason for him to go to Hufflepuff's. Still, it is just as real to me as the other 3, and I always knew exactly where Hufflepuff students headed after class. The Hufflepuff common room is located near the kitchens. Its entrance is hidden behind a barrel, and access requires a specific rhythmic tap on the barrel. The passage leads to a cosy, earthy room resembling a badger's set, or perhaps a hobbit hole. The furniture is in shades of yellow and black, and the room is filled with plants, fitting, considering the house's head is Professor Sprout. Number 3. Albus through the looking-glass. Another point tied to Sirius's inheritance involves the mirror shard seen in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. Harry mysteriously possesses a shard of a mirror in which he sees Dumbledore. What is it a symptom of PTSD? A way to cope with the loss of his mentor? Simple hallucinations? By the second film, it becomes clear that the figure Harry sees in the mirror isn't Albus, but his brother, Aberforth. The mirror originally belonged to Sirius, but after his death, it was stolen from Grimmauld Place, just like the locket, by Mundungus Fletcher and later sold to Aberforth. Aberforth uses it to watch over Harry, Hermione and Ron, even answering Harry's call for help when he's imprisoned by Bellatrix. Aberforth sends Dobby to rescue them, with Harry keeping the shard in his sock. While the films explain how the mirror came into Aberforth's possession, they completely ignore how Harry ended up with the other half. This omission confuses viewers unfamiliar with the books. In Order of the Phoenix, during the Christmas holidays at Grimmauld Place, Sirius learns that Snape will be teaching Harry occlumency, and he isn't pleased. Concerned for Harry's well-being, Sirius gives him a package containing the mirror. "I want you to take this," the mirror. "I want you to take this," he said, thrusting a roughly wrapped package the size of a small book into Harry's hand. "What is it?" "It's something for you to use to let me know if Snape is giving you a hard time," he said, thrusting a roughly wrapped package the size of a small book into Harry's hand. "What is it?" "It's something for you to use to let me know if Snape is giving you a hard time." Harry never uses the mirror, worried it might endanger Sirius or provoke reckless actions. He only remembers it after returning from the Department of Mysteries. He turned the mirror over. On the back, Sirius had scratched, "This is a two-way mirror. I've got the other half. You want to talk to me? Just say my name into it, and you'll appear in my mirror and I in yours." James and I used them to talk when we were kept in separate classrooms after lessons. "If you want to talk to me, just say my name into it, and you'll appear in my mirror and I in yours." James and I used them to talk when we were kept in separate classrooms after lessons. This crucial backstory is left out of the films, leaving moviegoers to fill in the gaps themselves. Number 4. Everyone needs Trelawney. Professor Trelawney comes across as a deeply eccentric individual with little in the way of actual prophetic abilities, at least until we witness one of her terrifying trances. Outside of these rare moments, she behaves like a typical fortune-teller. This is far more apparent in the books than in the films, where she loves predicting doom for everyone she meets. Thus, her dismissal by Umbridge in Order of the Phoenix seems almost expected. However, Dumbledore intervenes and prevents Dolores from expelling her from Hogwarts entirely. Why does he go to such lengths to protect Trelawney? Dumbledore knows that if Trelawney leaves the castle, she will become an easy target for Voldemort. The Dark Lord's interest in her stems from her prophetic trances. While the films don't explicitly mention this, Trelawney was the one who made the prophecy Voldemort so desperately sought. Observant viewers might deduce this, since her voice delivers the prophecy in the film. It happened 16 years ago, on a cold, wet night, in a room above the Hogshead Inn. I have gone there to interview a candidate for the divination post, though I honestly didn't intend to keep divination on the curriculum. However, the candidate was a great-great-granddaughter of a celebrated and gifted seer, and I felt I owed her an interview out of respect. I was disappointed. It seemed to me that she possessed none of her ancestors' talent. Then came her trance, and Trelawney suddenly became immensely important, earning a home and job at the castle for years to come. Dumbledore was well aware that Trelawney wasn't capable of teaching students much of anything, but her safety was paramount. That's why he refused to let Umbridge evict her from the castle. Number 5. Replacing Trelawney. With Trelawney dismissed, the question arises, who will teach divination and administer exams? The films ignore this aspect, which makes sense given the limited runtime. I'm afraid, he continued with a short, polite bow, that such decisions still rest with the headmaster, and I wish Professor Trelawney to remain at Hogwarts. Despite this, in the books, Dumbledore finds a clever way to both hire a qualified new teacher and spite Umbridge. He appoints the centaur Firenze, who saved Harry from Quirrell in Philosopher's Stone, to the position. Firenze stood in the middle of the lawn in the open. "Harry Potter," he said when he saw Harry, extending his hand. "Hello," said Harry, shaking hands with the centaur, who gazed at him with bright blue eyes, his expression serious but not unkind. "Nice to see you." "And you," replied Firenze, inclining his blonde head. "It was foretold that we would meet again." While Parvati, Padma and Lavender are thrilled by Firenze's appointment, Umbridge is enraged. Not only does Dumbledore bypass her entirely, but he hires a centaur, knowing full well her disdain for half-breeds. After Umbridge leaves Hogwarts, Firenze and Trelawney end up teaching divination together, much to Trelawney's displeasure. "Professor Dumbledore," said Firenze after the class fell silent, "has kindly arranged for this classroom to be in keeping with my natural habitat. I would prefer to teach in the Forbidden Forest, which, until Monday, was my home, but this is no longer possible." "Excuse me, sir?" Parvati timidly asked, raising her hand. "But why?" "We've gone into the forest with Hagrid before. We're not afraid. It's not your bravery that's at issue, but my position," said Firenze. "I cannot return to the forest. My herd has banished me." Firenze's assistance to humans had already made him an outcast among his kind. By accepting the teaching post, he enraged the centaurs further, leading to his permanent exile from the Forbidden Forest. With nowhere else to go, Firenze remained at Hogwarts. Number 6. The Mystery of Dumbledore's Pince-Nez. Dumbledore's pince-nez glasses aren't just a stylish accessory, they are an integral part of his character, symbolizing his wisdom, insight, and attention to detail. In the books, these glasses appear at key moments, shedding new light on Albus's personality. After Harry is punished by Umbridge, he visits Dumbledore. Albus carefully examines the scars on Harry's hand. His pince-nez glinted in the candlelight as he studied Harry's hand closely, and then said briefly, "These marks will stay with you forever." This isn't just a physical inspection, it signifies Dumbledore's understanding of Harry's pain, both physical and emotional. In Half-Blood Prince, Dumbledore examines Marvolo Gaunt's ring, his pince-nez gleaming as though reflecting something deeper. Dumbledore brought the ring closer to his eyes, his pince-nez glinting as if penetrating the very essence of the artifact. This moment showcases his perceptiveness and magical prowess. In Philosopher's Stone, Harry notices Dumbledore's gaze through the sparkling glasses. It was as though he saw more than just the boy standing before him. His gaze seemed to pierce through. This is the first hint that Dumbledore knows far more about Harry's fate than he's willing to reveal. But the pince-nez isn't always a symbol of seriousness. In Chamber of Secrets, Dumbledore listens to Harry and Ron's account of the flying car. His pince-nez gleamed in the firelight, almost as if smiling along with him. Even in lighter moments, Dumbledore remains enigmatic. During the battle in Deathly Hallows, Dumbledore's glasses are shattered, yet his composure remains unshaken. The lenses of his pince-nez were broken, but his gaze remained focused, as if seeing far beyond the chaos. This highlights his resilience during challenging times. Scenes involving the pensive add even more symbolism to his glasses. When Dumbledore inserted his wand into the bowl, his pince-nez sparkled, reflecting the dancing light of the memories. It connects past and present, much like Dumbledore himself. In Order of the Phoenix, Harry observes Dumbledore as his glasses slip down his nose. He slumped over his desk, his pince-nez sliding slightly downward. This small gesture reminds us of his humanity. Number 7. Living portraits. How do Hogwarts paintings work? Hogwarts paintings are true magic. They talk, move, and even act, though their abilities vary greatly. Why are some paintings lively while others remain silent? Phineas Nigellus Black is an example of an active portrait. He doesn't just talk, he moves between frames. In Deathly Hallows, he relays an important message to the trio. Phineas looked disgruntled. He frowned and said, "Sirius was a scoundrel, but he was still a member of my family. Only for his sake will I offer you assistance, boy." This shows that portraits can retain elements of their original personalities and even make choices. Hogwarts paintings capture a fragment of their subject's essence. The Fat Lady, guardian of the Gryffindor Tower, is a prime example. "I won't let you in unless you give me the password," she declared, puffing out her chest. Even during perilous moments, she stays true to herself. When Sirius attacked the tower, she resisted. Her dress was torn, and it was clear she had tried to protect the entrance. Not all portraits, however, are equally active. After Dumbledore's death, his portrait is nearly motionless. The headmaster's portrait swayed, as though it might speak, but it remained silent. Perhaps this enhances the sense of loss. The paintings in Hogwarts are interconnected, sharing news and gossip. Harry once noticed a painting whispering to a neighbour. She leaned toward the adjacent frame, as if passing on gossip about the guests. This interaction demonstrates the social life of the portraits. The headmaster portraits hold a special place, tasked with assisting the current headmaster, but only when asked. Amando's portrait stirred. "May I offer a suggestion, headmaster?" he said, bowing to Snape. This magical limitation ensures their advice isn't overbearing. Number 8. Madame Pomfrey, more than a healer. Madame Pomfrey is Hogwarts' unsung hero. Her hospital wing has saved countless lives, offering not only physical healing, but also protection from deadly threats. In the books, her role is far more pronounced than in the films. In Chamber of Secrets, Madame Pomfrey cures the students who were petrified, including Hermione. Madame Pomfrey frowned. "Too many experiments in this castle, but we'll manage." She revived them with a mandrake draught that hadn't been brewed in decades. In Goblet of Fire, Harry suffers burns after the dragon task. Ordinary spells are ineffective. Less heroics, Potter. "Or I'll start demanding insurance," she sniffed. Her expertise proves invaluable even in the most challenging cases. Pomfrey aids even those who don't ask for help. After the troll attack in Philosopher's Stone, she treated Snape. He emerged from the hospital wing with a grim expression. "Thank you," he muttered. She never discriminates between friend or foe. When Lockhart removed Harry's bones, only Pomfrey knew how to fix it. Regrowing bones is easy. Restoring them is another matter entirely. Pay attention, Potter. Her knowledge of magical medicine amazed even her colleagues. During the Battle of Hogwarts, she refused to leave, tending to the wounded amidst the chaos. Her face was streaked with soot, her hands covered in blood, but she didn't stop. "It doesn't matter whose child it is, I'll save them." She became a symbol of resilience. In Prisoner of Azkaban, after Hermione's use of the time turner, Pomfrey's understanding goes unspoken. "You need rest, and less meddling with time," she remarked knowingly. Her wisdom often transcended words. Following the Dementor attack in Order of the Phoenix, Pomfrey comforted Harry, offering more than just medical care. She handed him a cup of tea. Her gaze calmed him more than any spell could. Pomfrey was not just a healer, but a source of strength. Number 10. Who could have been a Hogwarts ghost? Hogwarts ghosts are its memory keepers, but why do some remain while others pass on? The decision depends on fear and regret. Nearly headless Nick explains this to Harry in Order of the Phoenix. When asked why Sirius didn't return as a ghost, Nick replied, "I was a coward. I feared what lay beyond death. That's why I remained." But being a ghost is a pitiful existence. Ghosts linger due to fear or unresolved regrets. Sirius had no fear of death. He lived boldly and embraced risks. His death was a culmination of his journey. For Sirius, there was no reason to stay. He left freely, without regrets. Lily Potter did not become a ghost because her death was an act of love. She stood before him, a shield, ready to take the blow. Her choice to protect Harry was deliberate, and she died with peace in her heart. James also chose to pass on. He fought valiantly, unarmed, for his family. He ran out without his wand, knowing he wouldn't win, but refusing to back down. Neither James nor Lily had lingering regrets to tether them to the living world. Moaning Myrtle became a ghost out of fear and loneliness. "I saw huge yellow eyes, and then I died." Her tragedy bound her to the castle, unable to let go of her pain. Professor Binns became a ghost by accident. One day he simply rose from his chair and went to teach, leaving his body behind. His spirit clings to the routine he loved in life, continuing his lectures even in death. Peeves, though often mistaken for a ghost, is actually a spirit of chaos. "That wretched spirit has caused havoc again," Filch grumbled. Peeves is part of the castle's magic, not a departed soul. Nearly headless Nick remains tied to his unfulfilled dreams. He was denied membership in the Headless Hunt. Harry noted the bitterness in his voice when he mentioned the rejection. This disappointment keeps him anchored to the world of the living. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you found this video enjoyable. If so, don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel.